Awesome. Hey, Maricela.
Hello.
We're back for another safety show. Raise the roof for the safety show. We are back again. Wedding and event vendor alliance here to talk about how to move forward with weddings. First, we'll start with a quick introduction. Hi. Since it's been many months, I'm Alison Ellis of Floral Artistry and RealFlowerBusiness.com, here with
Maricela Ehmann of Ehmann Events.
And we are here to talk about the thing that's on our minds. Are wedding professionals ready to move forward with events this year? Are we ready to host events safely? And we believe the answer is yes. So we want to talk about what that looks like as weddings and events begin again. Now, we're here in Vermont, and we know people watch from all over the place to get some of our safety tips. So wherever you are, chances are things are opening up, or you're hopeful that they will be opening up. And, you know, people have different kinds of mixed emotions about moving forward. Some people can't wait to get back to work, yet they still feel a hesitation. So wherever you are on that spectrum, we're here with you in community that, you know, we all want to get back to work, but it's complicated, right? So that's why we're here to talk another safety show, another safety update for weddings and events. How do we move forward? So Maricela, I'll let you start with really one of the things we talked about as we were prepping for this show is that hosting like it's pre-COVID, right? Hosting like it's 1999 is not the best approach, right?
No, it's not. We still, this is a new world for us. And there's studies coming out, everything's changing week by week. And so really going back to the way that things were it's not the best option at this point. We don't know the actual results of vaccinations. We don't know how things are going to change in the future, even just with state regulations and that sort of thing for everyone, wherever you're at. Things might change in the next few months. And the easiest thing to do is to plan where we were last year, wherever you were last year, because some of us did move forward with events. And so you already have that, experience of doing so, and apply what worked last year to this year. It's kind of like just like the easiest transition.
Yeah. So, we already have, as wedding professionals, right? We already have safety measures in place, safety protocols in place. If this is your first time watching us, last year we talked a lot about Maricela's plan called the Infectious Disease Preparedness and Response Plan, which, I still comes trippingly off the tongue, because it's really important that we have a plan for how to move forward. So that is really what we're basing a lot of our moving forward on, is the stuff we did last year. It's based on really important safety plans that we have in place for every aspect of service. So from layouts to food service to contact tracing and hygiene, we can do this. So we can do this safely. And wedding professionals are ready to move forward with these safety measures in place. We are ready now. So our goal shouldn't be to rush into like eliminating the physical distancing, but rather to create these safe spaces for our clients, our guests, and our event staff, right? So question for you, Maricela, the wedding planner of our group. What are you telling your couples right now?
Well, I do have actually several, a good amount of weddings for this year. And so far we're all moving forward. We did move a couple of weddings that were set early in spring just because of the uncertainty of that, but they just moved to later on in the year. So they're all happening in 2021. And what I have communicated to my clients is to plan for last year, plan as we did last year. We're applying all the same regulations, all the same capacity limitations, all the food service structure, our layouts are all based on that, on those numbers, on the specifics for social distancing and how we're sitting guests for ceremony, for the cocktail hour, because now we're sitting for cocktail hour as well, and for the dinner service, and applying and accepting and embracing the fact that we're going to be wearing masks during this event.
Yeah, that's such an important thing. We have to, if we're going to move forward, safely, we really have to embrace the things that are going to keep us safe.
Mhm.
And if we're not going to embrace those things, i.e. the masking, right, then we are not doing everything we can to be safe. And we need to be aware that that is the approach you're taking, right? If you're, whether you're the person planning, whether you're the guest, whether you're the couple, right, or you're somebody who's working at that event, masking is still a really important piece of this puzzle.
Mhm.
Last year we talked a ton about communication, right? Communication is key.
Mhm.
If you don't have everybody on board about what this is going to look like, you cannot expect people to follow rules that they're not aware of, right?
Exactly.
So like that communication is really, really important. So from the guests to the event professionals to the clients, everyone has to understand the safety expectation prior to arriving on site.
Absolutely.
It can't be that you just get there.
So your wedding websites are super, super important right now. Very, very, very important. So as a wedding planner or another event professional, communicating the way that this event is going to run with your clients, so then they can provide that information on their wedding websites. So any individual who just clicks on it at any point prior to attending the event has, full data. Everything's available there, all the nitty gritties and the details, and so they can just reach out if they have any questions. But if it's clear and consistent, I think it's going to be super, super helpful in moving forward there.
And what that does is it allows for people to opt in or opt out, right? It allows people to say, I embrace your safety measures, or you know what, I'm not comfortable. I'm not going to do this. So I'm not going to come, right? And you want that. If you really do care about having a safe event, if you care about reducing the risk of spreading COVID-19 at your event, if you care about the people you have invited to your event, if you care about the people who are working at your event, if you care about the communities that you are in, you will do everything you can to be safe, and you will embrace the sorry, I can't come messages, because that's actually good, right? That's a good thing.
Bump someone from your B list right on up.
There you go. Make room for somebody who does want to embrace your safety measures.
Mm-hmm.
So vaccinations, right? Vaccinations are the thing that we're all talking about because they give us this really beautiful bright light at the end of the tunnel that we're going to be able to gather in a way where we feel more confident and safe. Now, the CDC says it takes 2 weeks from your final dose of your vaccination for it to actually be protecting you, right? For you to actually start having that protection. They also suggest, though, that you keep wearing a mask and practicing the physical distancing. That's how you're going to get the most protection. So
I just want to chime in, and because even though you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you can't get it. There already has been several cases of people testing positive for COVID after getting, their final dose of the vaccine. And if you can get it, then you can also pass it on. So
yeah, it's not, pass it on. We don't want to pass it on at the wedding. And, it's a really, really important piece to understand the science behind these things, right? Whether you're the vendor or the couple or your guest, we need to understand how COVID-19 spreads so that we understand what we need to do to make that not happen, right? Because after the event, no one wants to be the couple that didn't follow every possible guideline and then had something happen. We can never guarantee that an event is 100% safe, right? But what we can do is guarantee that we're doing 100% of what we know to be the right protocols so that we reduce the chances of anybody being exposed to COVID-19 at your wedding. So that's why masks will continue to be worn, even if people are vaccinated, likely through the entire rest of this year. Mm-hmm. So that's something to really plan on. Now, testing is the other thing that people have been talking about. So, Maricela, what does the CDC say about testing on site at events?
Well, just let me pull that up really quick.
Yeah.
So CDC says that they do not recommend testing all attendees and staff before allowing you to enter an event space. That testing, let me read this verbatim, testing all event attendees and staff for COVID-19 before allowing them to enter the venue has not been systematically studied. And so there's some unknowns there in that aspect of it, and something that I've been commenting on in the past is that some of these rapid tests that are available, they're great for quick results, but they commonly provide you with false results because they work best on people who are showing symptoms, and the majority of your guests are most likely not going to be symptomatic upon arriving to this event. And so we don't know if we're going to be getting false positives or negatives. So that's not your best approach. Your best approach, according to the CDC, is to use other preventative measures such as social distancing, wearing masks, washing your hands, and all of the other protocols that were applied last year to our events, and we're decently successful, I feel, at least here in the state, with applying.
Yeah. And that's what, wedding pros who are in other states that have different rules, right? That's what they have been saying when they're pulling off events seamlessly. Like I was listening to somebody today who said, we did 22 events already this year, right? That's a lot of events already this year. And they've all been successful. And it's because everyone is really diligent about following safety protocols. And, in some states, they're not mandated, right? We have to set this tone as the professionals, as the people who are putting ourselves in these events. We need to create something that's sustainable. We can't go gung-ho into an event and then all of a sudden we didn't follow the protocols and then we have a bad result, right? Which just defining the bad result, COVID has spread at a wedding, someone is sick. Worst case scenario, of course, is that you couldn't die, right? And so we never, ever want to lose sight of the importance of staying safe because of what we're trying to avoid, right? We're trying to avoid death. So let's not ever discount this as we like to let you know, these events are possible. We really believe this. We've done some events. I only did 3 events last year, but because people followed protocols, we felt confident doing it. And now that we've done it, we feel more confident that we can do it again this year. But it won't work without the communication, without the social, or rather physical distancing, because we're going to be social. We just have to still keep the distance, and without really being committed to that. That's, if we're not committed, we're not going to succeed. One of the last pieces we wanted to touch on here is that how do you actually ensure the event is safe, right? Again, there's no such thing as ensuring an event is safe. There's only doing everything we can to reduce risks. And we do feel really confident about our ability to do that. But a commonly suggested solution lately has been to arrange to have a safety officer on site. This is the person that's in charge of keeping your event safe. Or what did you say, Maricela? You're
the strong man.
The strong man. Who is the person
or woman? Person.
Exactly. It's probably most likely a woman, let's be honest. But who is going to say to guests, this conduct is not safe. This conduct is not in line with what we all agreed to when we came here. We came here with a social contract that we're here to celebrate this union, and we really want this to be a wonderful evening. You're messing it up right now. You're screwing it up. Who's going to do that? Listen, we're not here to lie to you and tell you that's easy. We are not. That's why it's the last thing we're talking about. No, that's why it's something to really, though, consider. Is it your wedding planner? Is your wedding planner taking on the liability of handling safety for your event? Or are they not going to go there? Because you need to have somebody, whether it's your caterer. I've heard caterers saying they're requiring people to hire a safety officer for the day, because we all know the safety is critical. And we also know when people start drinking and dancing, they stop masking and the risky behavior starts to increase. So all of us have a responsibility to do our part to make sure that doesn't happen.
Absolutely. So communicate that with all of the vendors involved in your event. Say, let's talk about this. Who's going to be this person? Do we need to hire someone outside of it? Who's picking up the bill for that? All of these questions need to be addressed ahead of time so that you know who this person is going to be and what their role is going to be on the day of.
That's right.
Mhm.
And, as we say, all of these things you need to do, the truth is there are a lot of positives for weddings moving forward, right? Wedding professionals, as professionals who have been really eager to get back to work. Again, we know everyone's got their own personal, stake in how eager they are to get back to work, right? But wedding professionals can really focus some extra attention on the clients who are moving forward, right? Even whether you have a full calendar or a partial calendar at this point, we can really move forward and put our best foot forward. And we can find opportunities to add more of a personal touch and get creative to increase the overall guest experience. So that's really what we want to say. We can move forward. The question, are wedding professionals ready to host events safely? Yes.
Yes.
We
And
are.
I've had some fun doing it, getting, like you're saying, the creative piece of it, changing up food service and finding all kinds of fun little vessels to put things in, or making individuals of components that normally are shared at a wedding, and getting to be creative in your layouts and making these social pods
Yeah.
as I've been calling them. But it's kind of fun. You start working that creative mind of yours. We're all creatives, and let's exercise that piece of it.
Yeah, we're problem solvers, and what we have is a desire to open safely. And if we have that desire, we know we can make it happen. So, right. So that's really what we wanted to say. So thank you for tuning in to the Wedding Safety Show reboot. I don't know that we knew we were going to need a whole nother year of safety shows, but we're here for it. Thank you for being here for it with us. Maricela, you are such a serious wealth of knowledge around safety. Thank you for being my go-to person. Go to wevavt.org if you want more safety information from us. And I think that's it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Celebrate safe, everybody. Bye.